Okay. So these are the adjusting entries. These adjusting entries are coming from the worksheet. Okay, and adjusting entries always happen at the end of the month, the last day. Okay, we do not have source documents for adjusting entries. So to get away with that, we have a heading, kind of a little section heading. Okay, so, and this could be, it doesn't have to necessarily be on the first line of a journal, it could be at the bottom. Okay, but we'll just mark, just kind of center it on that line, adjusting entries. Okay, and like I said, that gives us the ability to not have a source document for these, because we know what they are and where they're coming from. Okay, and then we are on page 8 of the journal. Our working together will tell us that.
Okay, why does this thing just stay still?
Let me make sure. All right, and then looking at our adjusting entries, this is where we can use those letters that we put in, the ABC. So what's the first one? A. Let's find A. It's supplies and supplies expense. And we need to remember that the debit always goes first. Okay, so we'll list supplies expense first, and then supplies second. And again, the last day of the month. So we're April 30th. And then supplies expense for $153. And supplies for $153. Okay, supplies is a credit because we're decreasing that number. And then the next transaction, we'll look for B, still on April 30th, is prepaid insurance and insurance expense. The expense is the debit, so it needs to go first. For $125. And then prepaid insurance for $125.
Is this what businesses use?
No.
He said this one I wouldn't see.
Right.
They sent me for this chill out.
So,
Okay.
if somebody came in to look at the books, to analyze the books, an auditor or something like that, yes, they would look at these. Your general public isn't going to necessarily look at these because they're going to get all the information off the financial statements, which is where we're going with all this. Okay? And then, so that's it for the adjusting entries. Then they want us to post those entries. You remember how to post? Okay? Date, account, debit or credit. Okay, so this is supplies expense. So for supplies expense, put the date. April 30th. Where's that? What's that number coming from? Whoops. Let's get this up here so you can see it. Where's that come from?
Page number.
Page number. What's our page number? Page 8. Okay. and it was a debit for 153. We didn't have anything in there. So now what do we do with this number? One more thing. Two more things, actually.
Put it
Put it in the debit, so
Put it in balance.
Right? In the balance section, just carry it over, 153. Since there's no other numbers, we don't have to do any math. And then we take this number and put it right here, right? 550. It was 550, right? 550. Okay, you remember that posting process? So now take supplies for a 153 credit. Supplies on the 30th, coming from page 8 for a 153 credit. Okay, remember how we talked about we kept buying supplies, it's an asset, we kept adding, and now we're using it, so now we're subtracting it with a credit. So 228 minus 153 is 75. So now if we look at this, we know that we have $75 left in supplies. Any questions on that? You remember that? And then we take this number to show that we've posted it. Okay, insurance expense on the 30th. April 30th, still coming from page 8 for 125. Debit. Carry that over. Extend that over. 125 is our new balance. Oh, sorry. Y'all gotta tell me to move that when I need to move it. 530 is our account. Okay, it's now posted. And then last, prepaid insurance for 125 credit on the 30th from page 8. 125 credit. Debit minus the credit, 250. Gives me my new balance. Okay, so I can look at this and know I've got $250 left of insurance coverage. 150 is the account number. Bring that back over here to finish posting. Okay. Okay, so just remember here that adjusting entries are always on the last day of the month. And if you want to make a note that this is blank because we have a heading. Okay, so we don't have any document numbers because we put the heading there. So we know exactly what these entries are for. Okay, all good? Any questions? All right, so now your task is to go through on your own for this whole process. Remember, you've got your note sheet. What do you do first, second, third, fourth, fifth? Okay? So you're completing the worksheet, completing the adjusting entries in the journal, and posting them on your own 1 through 4.
Chill.